Hopper, I don't care what anyone says. The best written, most all-around awesome character in this show was Rexplode.
I'll take. And I wouldn't even keep you as a slave in my empire, Steven.
Someone said on Twitter, they said, he's rocking the heart in his heart.
Heart to heart.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I love Rex.
Yeah.
I did cry at this.
Yeah.
I don't normally cry at Invincible. Like in the first season, whenever it was like, pretty emotional with his dad and stuff, I didn't really cry. Yeah. And then all throughout season 2, never really cried.
No.
This got me. Rex got me.
Dez was watching it with me, my girlfriend, and she'd already heard that someone was going to be maybe dying kind of thing.
Which thanks Twitter for all the spoilers.
Absolutely. I'm just going to have to block everything Invincible for next week because there's no way I'm getting spoiled for that one.
Yeah. I'll just stay off Twitter. That's what I do. I'll just get off.
But so she's sitting there and he's like talking to Ray and he's like, for the first time in my life, like, it's going pretty well. And Dez is like, not him. And I said, it's not him, trying to throw her off. She goes, it's either him or the realtor. I said, Paul? She was like, yeah, he's just too nice. He's going to die. And I was like, what?
No, he's so well, I shouldn't say. He suffers the worst fate.
Yeah. So when Rex dies, she goes, Dez is so used to people not dying that she goes, oh, okay, he's not dead. It's too obvious. That means Paul's going to get killed. I was like, what are you talking? I looked at her and said, babe, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. He's dead. He's not coming back. She goes, you're lying. I said, I promise you Rex is gone. And then she's like, no way. I was like, yes. And it's such a shame. I get it. It's like a trope, build the character up just to kill him because it hurts more.
Yeah.
But man, dude, did we have to stay on the comics for this one? Did we?
Well, that's because they do throw it off a little bit by Ray coming back and staying as like a member. She's leaving the Guardians. Yeah. But that's just more reason that Rex should have left. Yeah. But at the same time, it's Spider-Man rules. Like if you have great power, there must also come great responsibility. Yeah. And Rex is just one of those guys who wouldn't sit idly. And he also even like stopped Ray from helping him because she officially quit. So he's like, no, you quit. I'll go do it.
They really showed off his powers too, like exploding his shirt, his clothes
so
for his
cool.
suits to show up, blowing himself up to propel him forward. The whole time he's fighting the Mark, and a lot of people point out, I'm pretty sure he kills that Mark, and I'm pretty sure in the comics that Mark doesn't die. Yeah. So he died for nothing in the comics, it felt like.
Essentially. But we do see his dead body actually. He's like kind of like a mile or so away when he's like crooked and stuff.
Yeah. So
it was the Mark with like the big jaggedy eye hole pieces.
So I love that. I love that he died and he took a Mark with him kind of thing. It's so good, and it just shows how great. And props to, we were talking about voice actors, props to
Steven Yeun?
No, Matt Zukis.
Oh, yeah.
For his portrayal of Rex, because he really brought that character to life.
And I'm going to go on record by saying this too. I've never felt that he was maybe the best actor. Like he's funny, and that's why you hired him, is because he's funny. In the show, like I'm emotional. He's a really good actor.
Like Oscar worthy.
Honestly, bro.
So, and everyone's talking about like, which we'll get to, the amazingness of the Invincible War. Yeah. But just this little bit of Rex that we see in this episode right before he dies is just, it's so gut-wrenching and it's so emotionally moving that you're like, this is an animated TV show? What's going on? But with all that said, welcome back to the Binge Warmers. My name is Steven.
My name is Hopper. We are going through every episode of Invincible and doing a review / breakdown.
Yeah, reaction, if you will.
We're talking about the Invincible War this episode. I think it's called I know what I have to do.
Or something like that. But before we get into today's episode, we did have a comment from last week's episode. And this one comes from KingShit69.
Hell yeah.
Love the name.
Swearing doesn't make you cool.
Yeah, swearing. I love that too. I love that he lived too in this instead of in the comments.
I know, yeah.
But anyway, he comes in talking about our issue last week. Is the budget spent too much on celebrity voice acting over animation? Mm-hmm. And he brings up a good point that we've talked about too. The problem isn't even the budget or the celeb VAs. Amazon refuses to increase the staff. Sadly, it doesn't matter if you throw $100,000 at 5 people. The 5 people still need help. Yep. And that's very much what it is. That we think, again, we're not professionals. We don't know what goes into animating a TV show.
I haven't looked into it either. I don't know if that's the specific problem with this. But Amazon is very famous for just having a crap ton of money. So it makes sense to me that they would throw money at the problem and not hire more people.
But it would also make sense to me that Amazon has so much money that they aren't willing to throw money at it either. Yeah. So it could be a money thing. It could be resources. It could be how many people you have animating the show. Yeah. All of that comes down to the fact of give this show the resources it needs to be successful. Yep. If it's money, give them more money. If it's more people, give them more people. But we want the show to be the best it can be so that we can have more moments like Rex from this new episode. But thank you to KingShit69. Thank you for being a more pronounceable name, even if it is more vulgar. But if you guys want your comment to show up in next week's episode, be sure to comment down on this episode. and you may be the one that's picked next week. So let's get into this.
So I guess first I want to say about the Invincible War, it does look good.
It
looks
does.
pretty good. And we speculated, if you want to put the link in the box, you can.
Yeah.
We talked about, I think one of the first episodes of this season that we talked about, there was this idea that maybe we're going to save animation budget for the last couple episodes because they are more important, like visually.
Yeah.
And we definitely get some upgraded animation in this. There were some complaints on Twitter, and I guess spoiler alert for this episode. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
It's peak. Obviously, we know that Rex dies. But
Yeah.
Go check it out. The ending shows Conquest coming to fight Mark, and there was all this hullabaloo, which is such a white dad thing to say.
Yeah.
There's so much hullabaloo on this that it was just two PNGs like clashing together for like the last... Maybe like last like 0.5 seconds of the episode.
Get over it. That's all I got to say. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. Get over it. We had a phenomenal show, okay? We're about to get a phenomenal fight. Fingers crossed. Like, that could bite me in the ass.
I'm assuming it'll be good.
Yeah. Who the fuck cares that you had to zoom in on two PNGs at the very last bit of the episode? Get over yourself.
It's the last 5 seconds, last 0.5 seconds.
That's a level of nitpicking that I just want to be like, I hate you as a person.
Yeah. If anything, I admire that they like use a trick to kind of cut around where they don't have to like, you know.
I didn't even notice it until some whiny crybaby on Twitter had to be talking about it.
Now, season 2 did have more moments where it was more visible that they were just sliding a PNG.
Absolutely.
But at least for this one instance in this episode, it did not bother me in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. You just had 45 minutes of peak, just awesome TV show moments, and you were complaining, get over yourself.
I think a standout for the animation, in my opinion, was the fight with the T-Spears, or like the Angstrom Levy's
That's
balls.
what I thought too, was T-Spears. I love too that's his whole way of fighting them. Cool. I love the technicians.
Yeah,
we get to see them. I'm just getting in the comics where he shows back up.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be interesting as well. But
that's the guy who played Hellraiser, or Pinhead in the Hellraiser movies. He voiced the technicians.
Yeah,
but that was so cool. A lot of people thought, because they had announced his name, but didn't say like where he was going or like who he was voicing. So everyone was kind of like, is he going to be Conquest? Is he going to be someone else? But we get Conquest is actually the guy from Walking Dead, Negan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Also from Supernatural. I looked at my girlfriend desk because we're big Supernatural fans. I said, that's Dad. She goes, no, it's not. I said, yeah, that's Dad.
You just say Dad and she knows.
Yeah, she knows.
That's Daddy is what I'm going to say.
But let's talk about, a lot of people were hating on this scene. It's when Mark's in the hospital with Eve.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not going back out there. And people are like, that's selfish of him. He's a superhero. You got to remember, first of all, Mark's 19, 20 at most. Yeah. This is his second real love, and the one he thinks he's going to spend the rest of his life with. So he's still a teenager. He can't see that far in the future. Also, at this point, Mark is faced with this impossible fight. Yeah. Okay, the most impossible fight that he's had to deal with. There are 18 variants of him in the world just causing mass destruction. And he's thinking, what's the point? There's no way I can stop them, you know? So what can I do? I can be here for Eve. Because I know if I leave, they could come back and kill her. So I'm going to do what I know for a fact is something I can do, and it's protect Eve in the hospital. Yep. And people don't think about the nuance of that. Mark's literally facing an impossible task. What are you going to do? Right. Faced with 18 superpowered beings that are all you know?
And what's interesting too, like this, like, you know, he's not fighting part, I think, too, because like he knows other superheroes might not trust him at this point.
Right.
We see Kid Thor, Knockout, and Bolt like all fighting him.
Yeah, beating the crap out of him. Yeah. So they don't know who's who.
So it would make sense to me that he doesn't actually go out there because he might cause more problems. Granted, he's like on the level. He's actually more powerful than a lot of them.
Yeah, some of them. I mean, they don't change.
I don't think they don't get the upgrade that he gets in the beginning of the season. So.
Yeah, some of them it was easier because a lot of them I think helped take over the world with omni-man. Yeah. So he didn't have to get as powerful as fast. Kind of thing.
It was interesting getting little nitpicks at like different versions of the character too, because like. Not nitpicks, little details about each version. Like one of them says that they killed their dad. One of them says he was in a Viltrumite prison and he looks all messed up and stuff. One of them said that he killed his dad and he killed his mom. Like a bunch of them had killed the mom, and like one of them like misses his mom.
Yeah, he was gonna come back just to get the mom from this world. There was at one point, you know, she even knew Debbie that they might come for her, so he went to Paul's house. And there is someone who's like, "Oh, Mom, I'm so hurt." And it's like, dang, she's not here. I was really looking forward to killing her again, and then he left, and I'm like, that's crazy. The little subtleties of each of the different marks in this is so good. You have the one who fights the Guardians again, who replicates almost the death of Darkwing, like Omni-Man did in the first episode.
Darkwing too, stellar performance.
Absolutely, we knew that this redemption was coming. I don't know if he comes back later in the comics. Don't tell me if he does.
Okay.
But the fact that he takes him back in there to the Darkness Stone, he's like, if I can do anything, it's to take one of these guys out completely.
We don't see him necessarily die, but they assume he's dead at the very least
because the other Mark doesn't come back from it.
Right.
Powerplex
gets a nice kill.
Yes,
it's crazy. And what's crazy too, like he has a low level energy absorption power.
Yeah.
Low level, meaning he had to get the upgrades from the GDA. And that means that Viltrumite had to have been wailing on him for him to get that much power to fry a Viltrumite.
Yes,
so he must have been juiced to do that.
And he was so happy afterwards. Oh, yeah, I got him. My wife would be so proud. Yeah. But it's so cool seeing the different heroes take him out. It was kind of chilling when Oliver runs out and he thinks it's Oliver. And he's like, God, hey, how are you, little guy? This is going to be fun. And I'm just like, Oliver, run away, please. Please get away from this madman.
This is crazy.
Hearing Steven Yeun voice these bad marks, it's just so chilling.
He's a good job.
Yeah. Here's a take. I don't know. I really dig the cape on Invincible.
The yellow cape?
Yeah, or the Omni-Man cape. Put a cape on Invincible, I think it goes hard.
Which one? And
I'm not a big cape guy.
Yeah.
Put a cape on Invincible. I'm begging you.
No capes.
No capes.
I don't know. I prefer just like the natural kind of. Actually, the one design I liked more than maybe his normal design is the one with like the hood, like the kind of face.
I didn't like that one. I hated that one.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it gave me the Spider-Man from the Wild West, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And his horse had the ascot, too. He's like, he's got a secret identity.
No, I think it's the Ryan Otley recently was on Twitter. He answers a bunch of questions. We should be asking him questions, by the way. Do you have any questions about the comics? I really don't, but
I don't, but I can come up with some real quick.
He'd be answering questions.
Yeah.
He recently
we might do something about that.
Yeah. If you guys in the comments give us questions to ask Ryan Otley.
Yeah, we may make a video out of that. If we can.
If we could.
If we got enough comments for it.
Yeah. He recently answered a question that's Grifter from the Wildstorm universe, which has just basically like that same look.
Oh, yeah.
I dig that look. And I like that he was like the more rowdy one, too. Like he was the one saying swear words.
And then I love, he's like, swearing doesn't make you cool.
It's so funny, dude.
He's like, shut the fuck up. Oh, man, I loved Omni-Vincible. I loved him so much. Probably my favorite one.
I like just a lot of them. I like the Mohawk one, maybe my favorite, like just personality because he's so reckless and like rude.
Yeah, he reminded me of Inosuke from Demon Slayer.
Interesting.
Big time. But
put a comparison.
Yeah, but then floating in the air afterwards, you get the gay mark. You know,
I
miss William. I was like, you tapping that? You hitting up William? How's he surviving that? Built for my pee-pee.
I saw the Invincible is like. Have you seen that? They're like, is that Mark making William take that Invincible?
Yeah, dude, it cracked me up. But seeing the differences between the marks too, like they couldn't all agree on anything. But then at the end, they were like, okay, let's just get Angstrom. You know?
Yeah.
They get trapped on another world. I saw a lot of people say, I don't really see it, but a lot of people still maintain that this is a satire comic.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't fully still believe that, but they at one point that I did see was like a lot of these events in other comics would last 12 to 15 issues.
Yeah.
This one was started and wrapped up in the same comic book, the same issue.
There's consequences, which is very interesting. A lot of times, like a big, the big two, like Marvel or DC comic, they won't have super crazy impact on the lasting
they won't give you death numbers, they won't give you the destruction of the cities and stuff,
even like the effects of it on the character. Like we see Mark deal with this like going forward.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
We don't like imagine like there's a Civil War, for instance. Everything that happens in Marvel Civil War, which I guess spoilers for the comics, read the comic, it's good. Nothing really lasts because Captain America comes back.
Yeah.
Like nobody really even has like any kind of lasting effects.
Yeah.
Spider-Man sells his soul and gets everyone to forget who he is again.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing stays. Like change up the status quo, I'm begging you.
I think it works for this comic because even though it's an entire world of superheroes, it's all wrapped around Invincible. He's the one superhero that you watch the entire universe through.
It's one guy writing it and one guy drawing it. So there's more writers later, but there are more drawers.
Yeah.
Artists?
Yeah.
Drawers, bro. There's more artists later but stuff too, but like there's one guy who's kind of writing everything, and he has the power to be like, this is Image Comics. I don't have to answer to higher ups at Marvel or DC to make things, to make the status quo go back to normal.
And there's not other, you have to make sure this meshes with Batman issue number 47 or Superman issue 22, you know? It's just this line, which I think that's why people think it's more of a satire thing. I think it's not. I think it's just a comic book.
I think there's an element like, evil Superman satire where it's like, and it's a funnier book too, so I can see where people say it's like a satire, but like it's really like gory and kind of off-putting at the same time, in some parts at least. So it's just interesting to me that we have these like parody characters, like War Woman is Wonder Woman essentially, and the Immortal is Superman or whoever.
You have some that are more on the nose, like Kid Thor.
Yeah, for sure. But you see them like get get gored. Like you see the intestines out on the floor, and like that in a way is parody.
Yeah,
because like the comics would never do anything. Like the main comics would never do anything crazy like that.
I also love get him out of here. Immortal and Kate have retired after literally doing nothing in this TV show.
He says, "I've given the world enough." It's like, you can get the hell out of here. We don't care.
Yeah, you've not given them jack shit, big dog. Like, you are a C-list hero. I don't even know how you've made it this far. If you didn't have rebirth powers, you would have been dead in the 1800s. Mr. Abraham Lincoln, get the fuck. You're a shit stain of a name for Abraham Lincoln.
Can I give a little spoiler for the comics based on something like you just said?
Yeah, hit me with it.
So, like, he didn't actually get killed to the gun that John Wilkes Booth shot him. He just played dead. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I had to sit and wait. The guy didn't actually kill anybody, so I feel really bad that he got, like, prosecuted and got put in jail.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He's like, I would have done it way differently now if I'd known what I knew then.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. And, you know, honestly, if we're going to get a little deep on this, if he is Abraham Lincoln, he kind of fucked the world, because after Abraham Lincoln left, that's when all the Jim Crow laws and stuff came out, because they didn't have Abraham Lincoln overseeing the reparations after the Civil War.
Yeah.
You fucked America for about 100 years, buddy. So you are the worst hero in the world, now that I'm thinking about it.
He did end slavery. Whatever, you know, that's at least that's...
And then left Jim Crow laws and segregation for the next 80 years.
I know, it's bad.
One of the greatest presidents, and we find out it's immortal? I hate Abraham Lincoln.
Why do you hate Abraham Lincoln besides the Jim Crow law stuff?
No, I'm just saying because of Immortal.
Oh, yeah.
Because Immortal played him.
He had the chance to change all that.
Yeah. According to our history, you know, if Abraham Lincoln had lived, a lot of those things wouldn't have happened, you know? Fuck you, Immortal. Get out of here. Nobody likes you. I loved when Invincible ripped his head off. Cut Kate in half with his fucking bowling ball head.
That's crazy.
I love that imagery, dude.
It was funny to me that he was like, he's like, you're a pale imitation of Invincible. And it's like, buddy, he's still stronger than you.
Yeah, and it's also like, now you're sucking Invincible's cock. You hated him for the past 3 seasons.
Right. Now we're friends.
Now we're friends. What a loser.
They can get out. It's fun.
He's a grifter, dude.
Another character I hate, Eve's dad. Eve's dad, why are you such a dick?
Yeah, which they made sure. I mean, that's true to the comics too.
Yeah.
I don't like that they kind of made the mom a little bit of a
that was weird too.
You know she has powers, right?
She's not even calling her Eve. She's calling her Samantha.
Yeah, it's like, lady, get out of here. You're both gross people.
You're bad.
You should have died in the Invincible War. I'm just going to say it. Put it easier on everybody. So many shit stains.
We even see, because Eve is like canceling dinner with her parents. She's like, they're problematic. I don't want you to. He goes, well, you know, I understand that better than anybody.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't understand problematic parents. My dad literally did facial reconstruction on me.
Dude, but I love their dynamic. Like, I like that so much that they're able to kind of joke around and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's 1-to-1 with the comics. Like, they joke around with that all the time.
Absolutely. I like the Oliver stuff that we get in this. You know, he is living up to, you know, trying to give that symbol a better name. Yeah. He helps out. He helps some other heroes take out one of the Mark variants. Mm-hmm. How hard that's got to be on Oliver. You know, one of the only people you actually love in this world, and you're killing what looks like him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's got to be tough.
And two, he's like the one kind of telling Mark to kill Angstrom at the very end. And to the point where Mark is about to do it.
Which is not true to the comics, because in the comics, that's what makes Mark stop. Was he was like, Oliver sees this and thinks this is okay. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. But in the show, he's like, yeah, Oliver's right. I'm about to rip your head off, dog.
Which, it's crazy because, like, there's a point, I guess... You know, he thinks that Angstrom's dead before this, right? Mm-hmm. So when Angstrom comes back and he doesn't kill Angstrom, that must just be in the back of his head. Yeah. Because now there's no way to get to him. He's just like stuck without Angstrom in that dimension, so there's no universal travel. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know the technicians are like keeping him there. Yeah. So he's like, oh crap! Like, I'm sure he's waiting on the second shoe to fall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And then he gets conquest, but just can't think about it. Yeah. He just got to keep moving.
Yeah, he's got no time. He got no time to even bury the bodies. You know?
Exactly, dude.
It's insane. These last two is all gas, no brakes. I'm so there for it. It's like we've been building for this moment. Yeah. Not that the past few episodes haven't been good. Yeah. But the league up that we get from these last 2 episodes, so good. A lot of people are hating on Eve for her piss poor performance on powers and stuff. I'm just gonna say it too because I've seen other people echoing the sentiment. Eve is still human, right? Yeah. She can't take on a Viltrumite Mark, especially one intent on killing her.
I mean,
he just can't.
He's too fast. He's too strong.
Yeah.
I mean, she can build as many like pink walls. I think it's just that her brain can't react because a lot of times she'll make like a big mace or like a big sword.
And that's what people said too. Like, where was her from the special doing all those things? She had more time to think in those fights. Yeah. Mark can move so fast. Yeah. All you can think is defense. Yeah. You can't even go on the offense. You're just like, how do I live in this fight?
Barely has time to make constructs. I mean, she makes like a little pillow thing behind her when she hits the ground, and it's like barely. It doesn't do any. Like, it doesn't help at all. Yeah. She still gets knocked out and gets her leg broken.
So it's just fighting an uphill battle. And I love Eve. I think she's awesome. I think she's an amazing, well-written character.
Yeah.
She's just not able to fight Mark. She can't do it.
What are your top 5 characters from the show? Maybe not the comic, but the show.
Rex is number 1.
He's number 1 for you?
Yeah, Mark's number 2.
Wow.
Eve is 3, Nolan, and then Alan. Most likely.
I was thinking...
Just right off the cuff. I could probably work it better, maybe have a better version of that, but off the cuff, just thinking about it, those top 5.
I was thinking about this because in the comic, Britt is in my top 5.
He's really good.
I love Britt.
I think we'll get more of him in season 4.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's very well written in the comics. I like him a lot. He's this like grizzled old guy who's like come out of retirement essentially.
But he's like immortal, but he can't die like immortal because he's literally invincible. Like, he doesn't take any damage. He's invulnerable, I guess I should say. But his name's just Britt. Like I think his name's Brittany, like his full name.
Yeah.
He's like some kind of like special. Like he's what immortal could have been, or he's what immortal thinks he is essentially.
Yeah.
But I love him. So he's like number 5 in the comics. I do think Rex has a higher place in the show than the comics. I would say
absolutely.
Maybe like Mark, Eve, Rex, Omni-Man, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good cast. I can't wait for this next episode.
I would love to mention some of the side characters we get.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, like the heroes that come out to try and save people?
Yeah. Which I don't know. You didn't read the Guardian of the Globe comic, did you?
I did not.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil anything with these characters or anything. I'm just going to acknowledge that they're here.
Yeah.
First of all, no Spawn. Spawn was in the comic.
Yeah, sucks.
He's one of the big omissions.
We did get Tech Jacket, though.
Tech Jacket we got. We didn't get Savage Dragon either. Those were our 2 big omissions, Spawn and Savage Dragon. Which I like them, but they aren't necessarily necessary.
We got that Tiger character?
Best Tiger.
Why does he look like Mark?
He's Asian.
Okay, I'm not being racist, but that literally looks like Mark. The hair and everything. Des was like, is this a Mark with guns? I said, no, that's the good guy. Mark's chasing him. And she goes, what the fuck? Why does he... Is there anything? Any relation here? Or
he's just Asian. He's like Chinese or something.
Damn. And he's just really good with guns.
Yeah, in the comics, his shtick is like he knows what's... Like, he's basically Batman and like the Punisher mixed, I think. Because he's got guns and he can shoot people. And he shoots people and he's whatever. He's also acrobatic and he can move really well. But he's
good
not...
detective and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Like, I don't think he has any special powers, though. I think he's just a guy that is really, really tuned in, you know. He blindfolds himself just because it makes it harder for him. He's not blind or anything.
What the fuck?
He just blindfolds himself, so things will be more of a challenge.
Ultimate flex.
Dude, really, though.
He's like bouncing bullets and stuff to hit the gun. That's awesome.
In the comics, somebody's like, well, are you blind? Is that why you're so good at like shooting guns and like ricocheting stuff? Like, no, I just like to make it harder for myself.
What the heck? I love to we get the Wolfman.
Yes, the astounding Wolfman.
Love him. I wish we had his backstory in the show.
Yeah.
Like we did in the comics, because it would have made it more impactful.
It definitely would have. I do think maybe we get something with these characters. I think maybe, now that we've seen them at least once, him and Tech Jacket are definitely going to be in it more.
Yeah. It sucks, too. I like Tech Jacket. I don't think he beats full-on Viltrumite Empire Mark.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like Mark is that... Mustache Mark is dead in the space. I said, Tech Jacket, I love you. I think you're really sick. I don't think you win that fight, dog.
I think in the comics, I think he takes out like 2 of them. Like,
that's insane.
He's really OP. Like his Tech Jacket is like like Iron Man and Blue Beetle kind of thing.
Yeah. It's essentially that's what when I was reading it. Super sick though.
Yeah. Here's some more characters that.
Yeah, not as sick.
Okay, there's Business Baby.
Right. He's got a briefcase.
It's just Boss Baby, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta just be Boss Baby.
Yeah.
But he has taken the internet by storm.
Yeah.
I've seen like 5 or 6 different videos glazing.
My girlfriend was like, "Is that Boss Baby?" I said, "No, that's Business Baby."
Is there any reason?
No.
What are his powers? He
gets crushed by his teammate?
Yeah. The teammate guy, he looks like a Swamp Thing kind of character. We don't get a name for him, but I was on the Reddit looking. There was someone who asked the same question, like, what is this guy's name? He's not officially named on the subreddit like Business Baby was, or Burly, which is like the Haley Joel Osment, like big hairy character. So someone in there was like, oh, his name's Big Mildew. I thought that was so
Big
funny.
Mildew.
That's not.
You're not fighting the satire allegations with that name, dog.
Big Mildew. I wish that's his real name. Someone had like a screenshot of the Invincible wiki that called him Big Green Gary.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. That's not a real page. Someone must have photoshopped that because I can't find that on the actual Invincible wiki.
Yeah.
Unless they took it down.
Yeah.
Because his name's not Big Green Gary.
Yeah, I love that though.
But Big Green Gary.
Yeah.
There's a character called El Chupacabra who is in Mexico. He's kind of the guy. He had like the teeth kind of right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know him? Have you seen him?
I've not seen him I probably did see him in that issue, but it's been a minute since I've seen that.
The
guy who he says you wouldn't even be worthy as a slave in my empire. Who is that guy? Because he gave like Adventure Time vibes.
That's Minotaur, I think. He's not in the comics either.
He died.
Yeah, he's a kind of a knight character, right?
Yeah.
I think his name is Minotaur. He is not in the comics, which is actually confusing because there is a character called Minotaur who's from the Wolfman comics who is more of just like he's not a bull, but he's got like a big axe and he has like a bull ring.
Yeah.
Powerplex makes it on that team, by the way.
No way.
Cut that out, but like Cecil will be using people.
Yeah, he really does. Which it's smart to use them.
It's smart, I guess. He definitely took out a version of Mark.
Speaking of, I forgot to mention that too. We get Cecil using the weapon
Yeah.
on that Mark, and then the Reaniman just beating the crap out of him until he dies. He took a few of them with him and fucked up Donald.
Yes.
But he died.
Donald has that line. He says, or they go, Donald, don't go out there. You'll just die. And he goes, that's what I do, sir.
Yeah.
Woo! Got me.
And then Britt got him. He's like, I'm okay. He's like, well, pardon me.
Donald and Britt.
I love Donald, dude.
Comics,
I love Donald so much.
I think Donald, like, because Britt had a couple one shots, and then he had a series that got canceled because it wasn't doing as well.
We got William's boyfriend saving him.
Yeah, I think
that
Rick,
was cool.
He must be like a bigger deal in the show. I bet they're gonna make him into. I
hope so. I mean, he's part cyborg. You know,
yeah, he
do something with him.
Yeah, I like when he takes his shirt off and he like separates himself.
Yeah,
and William's like, I hate when he does that.
Yeah. No, great show outs here.
There's a bunch of. Okay, so I think like so we also get Capes Inc., who had their own comic, Capes. That's Kid Thor, Knockout, and Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Black Bolt. His name is Bolt because he got struck by a lightning bolt.
Okay.
But he wanted to be called Black Samson because every other character that's black has black lightning powers.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to be called anything like lightning based, like static or whatever. So he just called himself Bolts because he's like, well, I don't want lightning bolts.
And Black Samson's taken.
Black Samson was taken.
I love that.
Why is Black Samson a popular name?
I don't know. Well, Samson's a really cool dude in the Bible, so.
Yeah, but I mean, Bolt's powers aren't related.
Yeah, Black Samson makes sense. I honestly don't even know Black Samson's powers.
He's just strong and durable, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He gets his ass kicked by Mark II in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Rex. That was insane. The whole blowing up a skeleton thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad it killed the other guy, though.
Yeah.
At least it kind of gave a big impact.
Yeah, and he's like, man, they still don't know when I'm lying, huh? Because I definitely don't have a plan. Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, Cast Iron's in here, too. Cast Iron also shows up in the Guarding the Globe comic.
Gotcha.
He's the guy in Russia. He's like in the kind of the beginning. Where
yes, with the hammers on his his belt and stuff, yeah.
Turns into like a Cast Iron consistency.
Yeah.
And then we also, I think that's about all the known characters. But Britt, voiced by Jonathan Banks, which we thought might have been Conquest. We thought
it was going to be Conquest. I think they fake leaked it because I'm pretty sure I saw someone say that he was voicing Conquest.
I thought I saw it on IMDb or something.
Yes, so I think they did a little bait and switch with us because we only knew Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to be in there because someone literally looked at like the credits and zoomed in and saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan and said, "Who's he?
Who is he?" Which I like his voice as Conquest. That's another big controversy I saw because of some fan animation.
Yeah,
and I heard it was an AI voice that like was his voice, like, you know, stand for my rival worm.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or not, but I definitely saw the fan animation. It looks cool, but then you know you get Jeffrey D. Morgan, who's not quite as deep and growly.
Yeah,
they still got a deep growly voice.
You know, I could see Clancy Brown doing it because he can do the more manic, not all there.
Yeah,
kind of person that Conquest is, because Conquest, which we'll learn later, he's described as like their animal, like on a leash that they just unleash into a world because all he cares about is killing.
Yeah,
you know, that's all he cares about.
To be named Conquest.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those things.
I would love Conquest to fight Battle Beast.
Oh yeah,
because both of them are literally the same person.
Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
Yeah, shut up.
I wanted to also mention, if you're getting Jonathan Banks, who is Mike Ehrmantraut in Breaking Bad, and Jesse Pinkman, who's Aaron Paul, who plays Powerplex in this, they're interacting. They're right there, but they don't say anything to each other.
Let's have some sort of cameo.
Yeah,
throw something in there.
A lot of times you get these celebrity voice actors, and you just have them talk in the same. Like there's a couple scenes like that where it's like, oh, so and so and so and so are talking. That didn't happen in the comics, but like at least you know these voice actors get to meet and talk. Do that,
like with Infinity War. You know, Iron Man and Stephen Strange, they both call each other Doctor because they were both played Sherlock in different iterations of Sherlock Holmes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're like, "Do you confirm, Doctor?" He's like, "Yes, I do, Doctor." And it's like, it's a little nod, you know.
A little nod.
It takes their immersion down a little bit, but at the same time, that's part of the reason why these celebrity voice actors, in my opinion, are a benefit because they can say, "Hey, I'm this guy from this show." You know, it's just a little nod. Give us something.
A little nod, especially when you go out of the way to cast these characters.
Yeah, because you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Give the people what they want.
Anyway, good episode.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite. I said the last one was my favorite up until this point. This is now my favorite.
And then the next episode may be our favorite.
Yeah, probably will be.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. We got one more episode of Invincible. Daredevil is just now coming out. I don't know if we're going to do anything with that, so stay tuned. We may put out a post or something. I've got a few ideas running around in my head, so stay tuned for that. But we got one more episode of Invincible before we wrap that up. Of course, on Mondays, we've got Ben 10. I go live twice a week. I'm streaming Ghost of Tsushima right now. Fun videos coming out every now and then on Fridays, so stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys next week.
I wouldn't even make you a slave in my empire.
In my Discord community. Make sure you join.